Hi, fabulous Ali here. So, this episode is going to be a little different because I see it's not just another episode, it's actually the closing of a chapter. I've been repurposing my podcasts onto a YouTube channel for a while now and sharing what I've been learning, building, and experiencing along the way. And if you listen to any of these episodes, thank you truly from the bottom of my heart. But over time, something has shifted, not suddenly, not dramatically, just a deeper awareness that's been building quietly in the background. An understanding that the conversation I want to have has evolved. For a long time, like many people in this space, I was immersed in a messaging around working harder, doing more, showing up constantly, pushing through will get you the results, or you sacrifice time with your family, etc. Delay now to enjoy later. And while that can get results, I've come to realize that sometimes what looks like ambition is actually fear underneath. And these people that perpetuating these strategies because it's worked for them have made the money, and subconsciously they're sharing because they're caring and they want people to have what they have, don't even realize that what's motivating them underneath is fear, a fear of not enough, a fear of slowing down, fear that if you stop, everything might disappear. I had to be honest enough to recognize that I had brought some of that energy into my own journey too. So I knew that I wanted to create location freedom. I wanted to create, I already had a blog. I wanted to create courses about the law of attraction. I had a brick and mortar business. I also built an Etsy site for it. I sold using social media, Instagram and Facebook, website, everything, the caboodle. And I had a physical premises where I created the products and people came in and bought out the shop and I did bespoke orders. But there was no downtime. And so what started as build these things in tiny pockets of time, and eventually I'll create the other income, and then I'd phase out the brick and mortar and have my location freedom. COVID happened. And then I started to see that the footfall, obviously, we were in lockdown at times. So I pivoted. I tried to stay positive. I believed I stayed positive. And I was doing locally, doing, people were ordering online. I was putting out my messaging. They could still order. I was doing social distancing drop-offs, pushing more for the online orders. But then gradually, when things started to open up again, people's demographic had changed, their mindset had changed. They weren't coming into the shop so much. I was telling people that were around me that people that didn't use online space like Amazon and stuff like that wanted to go to a store and try and close. Now were fearful to come out, or they'd actually been forced into doing shopping online. And they're like, hey, I can get my phone out and I can, oh, I need so and so. I can order it on a certain website. We know mostly we may begin with A. Those people probably never used that before. And they're like, I get to binge watch Netflix and order something and someone's going to bring it to my door. Fluff that. I ain't going to the supermarket anymore. And I felt instead of just walking around town like they used to and go, oh, what's that? That's interesting. Come and have a conversation and purchase off me or order. They were just coming out going, right, I've got to go to the bank. I've got to go to the chemist. I've got to do such and such. And then they'd be home again. So then it became panic that I got learning these new skills to build funnels and things like that. Because I was enjoying it so much when I was doing it, it felt so aligned, it felt me, it felt right. I didn't see and acknowledge what was underlying energy of it, which was the fear, lack, and scarcity, that I've got to get this finished because this has got to subsidize my income that's dropping now from the footfall. And then when it got hard because it's a new skill that I was learning, then I felt fear and panic. And I'll honestly share with you, when I finally launched it all, probably about 11 months later than I thought it was going to be, I got crickets. Because I know and I can see, like I said, the fear was underlining it. And I was putting out a fear frequency, a fear energy. So I wasn't going to attract anybody because they can sense that, they can smell it. But when you feel you have 100% confidence in what you're doing and who you're here to serve and you generally want to serve and help without the fear and the scarcity, you become magnetic then. So just as a little side note for anybody that's listened to this and have this dream that they would love to have an online business and an online income around passions that they have and they would love to take their children to the beach and still make money, what people don't share enough is crickets is common. I didn't know that. I thought I'd done something wrong. But when now I listen to multiple podcasts and I've got coaches, I've got a really good coach actually, who actually is honest about her journey. And she said the other day in her podcast, God, if you knew how many businesses that she had that had failed. And I hear more that cricket's is common. So you just got to keep showing up. You got to keep doing it. And just know, I just thought it's a side note to say that crickets may be common, but if you keep going and you don't give up, you're going to get success. So the awareness has changed now. How I want to build has changed. And more importantly, it's changed what I stand for. I've already given you a little element of that in my side deviation, but there you go. So this feels like the right moment to say that channel, the YouTube channel, has served its purpose beautifully. So so I've repurposed the podcast that you will hear on here from Spotify, or if you are listening through Spotify or iTunes, they're going to still hold, but from this day forward, it is going to be different. And the conversation is moving now to a brand new channel. I'm just using that old channel to create content for courses, etc. But I have a new channel that is clean, starts from this episode, and the conversation is moving over there. If you want to stay with this, that's absolutely fine. If what I've shared here has resonated with you, I'd love for you to continue this next chapter with me. So I've created this new space where my current message, content and conversations now live. And you'll find the link for that in the show notes. Not to mention a little something extra. Sorry, I got distracted then. So you're more than happy to continue with this. So if you're on Spotify and Apple, etc., you're more than happy to continue on this. But I would love it if you could come over to the new channel, because I have a little something extra as a thank you for you. And I would love it if you could subscribe, because the next chapter is more aligned, more honest, more grounded in real freedom. Freedom that feels like freedom on the inside first. So if that speaks to you, come and join me over there. Or like I said, it's Spotify, podcast, Apple is your jam, no problem. But I would appreciate if you just take a look and subscribe, because this is going to be my main YouTube channel moving forward, and just not for podcasting. So thank you for taking the time to listen. Thank you if you've been part of the previous chapter. I'd love it if you'd be part of the new chapter. And I'll see you in the next one, possibly somewhere new. And don't forget to look in the show notes for the link to the new channel and a little something extra for you. Have a fabulous day.